I'm coming to y'all again live, okay? We back in effect. I know it's been a minute between our last shoot and this one right here, presently, but due to busy schedules and just grinding out here, it just manifests like that. But nevertheless, we here now. So, I want to dive right into it. All right. This is my 7th blog shoot. Okay, so, being that I've been away for a little while, it's been a lot happening lately. A lot. So much you can't really keep up with the things as they transpire and take place one after another. So, I'm just going to jump in where I jump in at and jump in on topics that we're familiar with as far as coming. And as we all know right now, we just had 2 significant things happen in the bounds of North America right now. You know what I'm saying? Which was the first one, which was last Saturday, the 12th of August, because today is August the 19th. So this one happened last Saturday, which was August the 12th. And I'm speaking about the protest, the riot from the protest, from the white supremacist march and protest in Charlottesville, VA. All right? So let's look at that for a little while, all right? So here we go. These, for those who don't know what happened, this is what I've gathered from looking at it and hearing and gathering information on my half. So some white supremacists, the 2 white supremacist groups, the neo-Nazi skinheads and the KKK, they had a protest, march and rally in Charlottesville, VA, which is where the University of Virginia is located. Okay? Give you a little short history on the University of Virginia. Thomas Jefferson, we all know him as one of the founding so-called fathers of this country, America. And so he is the founder of the University of Virginia. And we know Thomas Jefferson factually to have owned slaves. This is an actual fact. If one doesn't believe it, they can do their own research yourself. This is known facts. So with that being said, I look at it as that's why these white supremacist groups pick that location to set up and carry through their protests and their march. So with that being said, they had it last Saturday, August the 12th. So it was a few groups who came to counter-protest them, which Black Lives Matter was one, and it was some other groups. You know what I mean? They were splinter groups. They was just a lot of different groups who were against what the white supremacists stand for. So mainly Black Lives Matter. So, with that being said, so it was a clash. It was violence. It got physical. One of the white supremacists took it upon himself to get in his car and drive his car into the crowd of counter-protesters, which included Black Lives Matter, like I said, and a few other groups who were against what they were preaching and what they were promoting. So doing that, one life was taken, and a couple of dozen people got injured. Some severe injuries, some just injuries nevertheless that gonna heal with time. But anyway, that happened. This is very significant, and it was all about and it was all about, the timing. You know what I mean? This country right now, as we know it, is in an uproar. This country, America, yeah, it is. Because we can look at our government and we see what's going on within our government, starting with the president, Trump. We already know who he is. Ones that know who he is, and everyone knows and sees what he represents. Now, we can talk about all of the shakeups within his cabinet, starting with The White House press secretary, Snow, he resigned a month and a half ago. We see from our own government, from the United States government, it's not my government. I live here, but it's not my government because we don't own it. We don't run it. You know what I mean? So anyway, we see all of the shakeups. The other guy, Priebus, he resigned. And he resigned from his post. And you know what his reason was? He said it's best to leave now, resign now, and start the reset button. You know what that means? He said it's best to jump ship right now before the ship sinks. That's really what he was saying. Because he sees the ship is sinking. You know what I mean? Now, Trump fired Scaramucci. You know what I mean? This Italian guy. He was the, what was he? He was the communications director. That's what he was. He was the White House communications director for 10 days. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, 10 days and Trump fired him. All right, now we're coming down a notch now again. Now it's to Steve Bannon. Now he was the White House strategist. Now that's a big title. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This guy knowingly has connections with the KKK because he said it. He has connections. He is connected with the white supremacist group, the KKK, because him and that white guy, David Duke, who was the mayor of Louisiana a couple of years ago, him and him are like this. They got known ties right now to this very day. And it has been statements said that he is a known white supremacist. So I guess the Trump cabinet the last couple of days, I saw CNN a couple of days ago, they said the Trump cabinet issued a statement saying the knives are out for O'Bannon. And when I saw that, for Bannon or whatever his name, I said O'Bannon, but it's Bannon. When I saw that, I knew. I told one of my co-workers, I said, hey, they're getting ready to get rid of him because of the heat that's coming down on the so-called White House. For him being identified as a white supremacist, in the wake of all this stuff happening across the nation, as far as with racism, these violent acts, so they had to get rid of him. And today, they announced his firing today. On CNN, he got fired today.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, so I saw it a couple of days ago at work earlier this week. I told one of my co-workers, I said, hey, that's what was going to happen. When they made that statement, his cabinet members, the knives are out for, meaning they're getting ready to do him in. He got to go. You know what I'm saying? So they'll do it to their own kind, man. They don't care. They'll do it to their own kind, man. When those cameras get to turning on them, man, and the microphones being shoved up in their mouth every 5 minutes, you know what they say then? Hey, man, you on your own, man. We got to feed you to the wolves, man. You started it. You should have kept your big mouth shut. But lo and behold, that's what it is, man. And you know, we see the shakeup from this government's top echelons, man. You know what I mean? From these high positions of so-called authority. You know what I mean? We see this country crumbling from the highest positions, and it's going to trickle down to the lowest. It's coming. It's coming. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it in his book, The Downfall of America. He said America was going to fall. In the last days, America was going to be the laughing stock of the world. He said it. And he wrote that book over 40 years ago, bro. You know what I mean? He wrote that book over 40 years ago. Now you tell me if that's not somebody who looked into the future. Or over 40 years ago. And he's no longer with us here. So, and on top of that, numerous numbers of our leaders who were true leaders from amongst our people foretold about this and foretold about things that will come when we living in the last days. And we see I can go in. This is another shoot. I can go in. I mean, we talk about prophecies that were prophesied years ago about this very day, and time we live in. We can see the parallels as we live presently in this current time. Once knowing about the prophecies that were prophesied years ago, once you study them and you compare them with the present time that we're living in, you can see everything being made manifest that was said to be. Donald Trump is the guy that God chose to take America down into the abyss of hell. You can like it or don't like it, because that's what's going to happen. We can go on and on and on and on about that. Why waste time? If you know, then sit back and watch. If you're blessed to be here to see it, you will witness it. Because it's going to happen. It already started. We right on the brink of another war. The biggest war of them all. The war of all wars. That's what they call it. War Armageddon. World War III. You can go on and on and on and on in the names. But we right on the brink of it. You see how North Korea is responding to America? You see how America is responding to North Korea and its allies? We did. Kim Jong-un, the president of North Korea, he already made his stance, man. You're not going to scare him. He said, because he knows that he got China, the big brother, back. And China not going to let you do nothing to North Korea. I'm going to tell you that. America, whoever, or any other country, you'd be foolish to think China going to let you do something to North Korea. Let me tell you something. That's not going to happen. You know how many soldiers, you know who got the biggest armies of men in the world? The 4 biggest armies, brethren? Let me mention that right now. Number 1 is China. Number 2, India. Okay. Number 3, America. Guess what? Guess who number 4 is?
Yeah.
North Korea. See? These are the 4 biggest armies in the world. You know how many soldiers, man, China got, man? China got 1 billion. China got, excuse me, pardon me. China got 3 billion soldiers, man. You know what I mean? They got 8 billion people in their country. You know what I mean? 3 billion of them are soldiers. America only has 2 billion and something. I think close to 2 billion, close to 2.5 billion. Korea has right there. North Korea has, I think, a little over 2 billion. So, yo, man, you know what I mean? We right there, man. The numbers game. And they soldiers are well trained, man. They military. China's military is well trained. They got one of, they said, if not the best Navy and Air Force in the world, man. So these people ain't lightweight, man. They ready for war, man. And they got allies too. They got allies in Russia. Who you think Russia gonna side with when they jump off? You think Russia gonna side with the U.S.? Come on, it's like they already showing you who they gonna be with. They gonna be with China. They gonna be with China. They already telling you what it is. So you have 3 of the world's largest militaries against one of the world's largest militaries. You know who Europe gonna side with? But guess what? Europe gonna be depleted, huh? Because you know why? Europe ain't gonna have the resource. If they can't get them from Africa, the war jump off, Europe ain't gonna be able to do nothing. In order to go to war, brethren, you have to have billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, man, to sustain a war, especially to sustain it for years, because if this war starts, brethren, it might be a ground war first for many years, and then they let off the nukes afterwards, you know what I mean? When whoever side starts to look like they losing, you know what I mean? Then they say, hey, let's just end it all, man. I don't want to be up under their tyranny. I don't want to live up under them if they win, if they defeat us. Let's just hit the button, you know what I mean? And end it. You see? This is where we at. This is where we at. This is where we at, ladies and gentlemen. And to be honest with you, it's a time to be thoughtful and reflect, man, now, because do a lot of reflection, man, because we don't know we don't know what lies ahead of us. But we hope that things can be resolved where level heads prevail, meaning the wise. The wise can prevail over ignorance and foolishness and impulse in these times that we live in. We ask Allah to take care and save and protect the believing men and women and the families of the believers, because you know why? We're living in a dire time right now. We're living in a time of tumult, a time like no other in the annals of history. So, we ask that. And in turn, I'll just wrap this up because this is going to be a quick shoot, ladies and gentlemen, because, we actually started late and, pressed for time, so I'm going to wrap this up. This basically will be precursor to what's next to come, which is going to be longer and a more in-depth shoot, God willing. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to really be on the lookout for our next shoot, because we know we are. We've been away for a minute. I've been away for a minute, and we want to jump right back into things, because it's a lot of things that's hot topics out here, man, that we need to be on regularly. So be on the lookout for that. But as I wrap this up, I'll say today too. Also, let me interject right quick before I actually forget. Today I was scheduled to go to a function, a back to school gathering for the kids, local kids in our community here, by a brother who I've just become acquainted with, who's a co-worker of mine, and I was invited there and I had the intentions to go, but later on within the day, the course changed, and I had to do a number of things. One included shooting this vlog right here that we're shooting right now. So I want to say in part, very quick, to the brother. He knows who he is, Brother Mason. I tell him, brother, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to make that event, and you and I know, because we already talked earlier this week, and I really wanted to make that event, but we're going to make that up very soon in the future, God willing, all right? So just be on the lookout, brethren, all right? Peace. That's all I wanted to send that shout out to the brother Pacific and others involved, right, that project. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for the night, because, it's about that time, viewing audience out there. So when the next time y'all see me, it'll be vlog shoot number 8, okay? And this right here is, like I said before, it's a precursor to the next vlog. So, we got a lot to talk about, family. We got so much to talk about. I'm bursting at the seams, but I can't shoot a 3 or 4 hour vlog right now because of the circumstances, but no excuses made. It is what it is, family. I'm gonna sign off. I leave y'all with these words, just like I came to y'all with these words in the beginning, in the opening of every vlog. Peace be upon you all. Until next time, family, I'll see y'all then. Peace and love.